If you've been interviewing for jobs, but you're not getting offers, then that could be an indication that the interviewer has some concerns about your ability to do the job. I mean, you would think that if they had concerns, they would just tell you, but they don't. They just don't. So when I interviewed for jobs from time to time, I would get stuck in a rut where I felt like they just didn't like me. And so I would walk out of the interviews, just with my head hanging down, feeling miserable. And it was hard. I mean, if not impossible, to figure out what was wrong until I stumbled on this one magic question that opened the doors for me, and it made all the difference in the world. Instead of closing the interview by saying, well, I hope to hear from you soon, I changed my closing statement and said, hey, if we were to come to an agreement where you offered me the position, how do you see me fitting in around here, and what could I expect over the next 6 months? And I'll tell you, those magic words forced them to visualize me working in the job so that they just told me what their objections were on the spot, or whatever their concerns were that they had with me working that job. And sometimes they said, hey, I didn't have enough experience. And that was my cue that they were not sold on me yet. So I had to work to convince them that I was the right person, that I did have enough experience. And sometimes, that worked, and I could convince them, and other times I couldn't. But at least I knew, and I learned what their concerns were, and that allowed me to improve my interview skills so that I didn't make the same mistake on the next interview. And before you know it, employers started offering me the job. And once they could visualize me in the role, and by asking them that question, it forced them to visualize me, they decided to hire me. Sometimes on the spot, sometimes not. So at the closing of your next interview, try that closing question, and you'll figure out why employers have been rejecting you. And this is what I call detective work. And it does take time. I mean, I get people coming to me, after 6 months saying, Don, I've been interviewing for 6 months. I can't get past the first interview. I have the first interview and I never hear from them again. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Did you ask them what's wrong? And they're like, no. So ask them. I mean, like I said, this detective work takes time. But if you start asking it and you go on 3 or 4 interviews and they all start saying the same thing, like, hey, you don't have enough experience, or we need you to have more experience in this area, or you know what, you're not a culture fit, or we don't like the color of your shirt. I don't know what it is. But this is going to help you identify any potential weaknesses that you might be unaware of, that you have. So do that. And I think that's going to help you go a lot farther. Another thing that I think is going to help you go a lot farther is this checklist. This is a structured list of everything in the job interview. And it starts off with, job search, identifying what you're looking for, resume writing, phone interview preparation, competency interview preparation. Now it doesn't go into all the details of how to do these things. It's just a checklist, but it's just giving you the specifics on the things that you need to say, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And it goes all the way down here to salary negotiation, and you will get there. And then on the back here, I have more tactics and strategies, preparation tips, links to other videos that are going to help you. Paid programs. I have some paid programs on here, some free programs, how to avoid interview anxiety. That's a big one. But anyway, you can get this checklist from jobinterviewtools.com/checklist. Just tell me where to send it. I'll get it right out to you. And that's going to give you some structure in your interviews and throughout the whole process, so that you can kind of just take a step back and just see everything, see the big picture, and then go through and focus on the things that you need to focus on. And you're going to do great. I know it. All right, my friend, that's all I have for you. Good luck on your next interview. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, please. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.